Welcome to this explainer. There's a lot of data out there right now about India's employment landscape, but today we're going to cut right through all that noise. We're taking a highly structured look at the multi-layered reality of the job market in 2026, based on the absolute latest research and policy updates. Okay, so let's just dive right into the central mystery we're trying to solve today. Why is finding a sustainable job still incredibly tough despite our rapidly growing economy? We've got millions of ambitious students entering the workforce every single year, right? Yet that path from graduation to a stable career, it's absolutely riddled with complexities. It's a paradox that touches every corner of the country, and to really understand it, we need to break it down piece by piece.
So, here's our roadmap for today. 1. India's complex employment reality. 2. The hidden labor surplus. 3. The female workforce paradox. 4. Rural employment under transition. 5. Pathways to financial independence. And 6. Building sustainable future jobs. Let's get to it.
Section 1. India's complex employment reality.
Our sources show that while the overall economy is expanding and access to education is definitely improving, bridging that gap between simply holding a degree and actually securing a stable career, that remains a fierce challenge. Every single year, lakhs of students begin their job hunt only to hit a wall of increasing competition and rapidly shifting industry demands. It's no longer just about getting an education. You have to perfectly align your skills with what the market actually demands right now. Section 2. The hidden labor surplus.
Now, a crucial part of understanding this whole picture involves something called disguised unemployment. It's a fascinating and, honestly, somewhat hidden economic concept where a massive surplus of labor basically masks a severe lack of actual productive jobs. Essentially, it means more people are working in a specific activity than are actually needed. If you were to, say, remove some of those workers, the final economic output wouldn't drop at all. They're working, sure, but their labor isn't actually adding any new value to the economy.
And the numbers brilliantly illustrate the staggering imbalance driving this phenomenon. Just think about this for a second. Over half of our country's total population, about 51%, is currently employed in the agriculture sector. Yet, agriculture contributes a mere 12 to 13% to the country's overall GDP. Because of a lack of alternative opportunities and, limited capital, all this excess labor remains trapped in seasonal farming, completely invisible in the official unemployment records.
To fix this massive inefficiency, we desperately need structural reforms. The key here is moving that surplus labor away from seasonal farming and creating alternative, non-agricultural opportunities. We're talking about encouraging workforce mobility, providing robust skill development, and promoting self-employment. That way, this surplus rural labor can transition into growing manufacturing and service industries where their hard work will actually translate directly into economic growth.
Section 3. The female workforce paradox.
Let's talk about the daily double burden because it is a massive hurdle. Recent research highlights a stark reality. Indian women spend a staggering average of 352 minutes per day on invisible, unpaid domestic and care work. Compare that to just 185 minutes on formal paid labor. This deep-rooted cultural expectation severely limits the time and energy women can actually dedicate to the formal economy. It acts as this huge, invisible deterrent to long-term participation.
But it's not just cultural expectations holding women back. It's literally the law itself. Believe it or not, there are currently over 150 state labor laws dictating exactly where, when, and how women can work. While a lot of these were originally framed as protective measures, like prohibiting night shifts, for example, they actually end up excluding women from high-paying, rapidly growing sectors like manufacturing and hospitality. It creates this chilling effect where employers just start viewing hiring women as a regulatory liability.
A 2025 study from the International Journal of Social Science and Economic Research really hit the nail on the head with this. The true problem is ensuring women not only enter the workforce, but also stay, grow, and succeed there. Current policies so often just focus on getting women to enter the market, but if we don't address the heavy burden of unpaid care work or reform those restrictive labor laws, those women will inevitably drop out. Our frameworks have to evolve to support actual long-term career longevity. Section 4. Rural employment under transition.
Okay, shifting gears to rural safety nets. A major structural shift has just occurred.
The government transitioned from the traditional MGNRGA framework, which was primarily center-funded and provided a demand-driven guarantee of 100 days of unskilled work, to the new VBG-RAMG system. This new framework introduces a very different model. It has greater center-state cost-sharing, it focuses on integrating jobs with actual infrastructure creation, and it heavily relies on technology-based monitoring for attendance.
However, this transition caused some immediate, very real friction on the ground. Looking neutrally at the data, there was a stark and sudden 43% drop in rural employment generation between April and July of 2026. It dropped down to roughly 70 crore person days compared to previous year's averages.
So what caused that drop? Well, our sources indicate this stems directly from administrative bottlenecks and digital exclusion. Confusion over new rules combined with tech barriers like facial recognition glitches and connectivity failures literally prevented many people from accessing work. This was noted to be particularly severe in poorer states like UP, MP, and Jharkhand. The big takeaway here, for these policies to actually work, technology has to be an enabler for the rural poor, not a barrier.
Section 5. Pathways to Financial Independence.
Now that we understand the challenges, let's look at the actionable tools available to you. These are the major central government schemes designed specifically to bridge the gap between your education and employment. You've got the Skill India mission for free industry-relevant training, the PM Internship Scheme for real workplace exposure with a monthly stipend, and NAPS focusing on valuable apprenticeships. Plus, for entrepreneurs, there's PM EGP for subsidy support and the Mudra Yojana for collateral-free business loans.
I want to speak directly to your career path right now because you basically have two main avenues here. If your goal is to land a traditional job, you absolutely need to be utilizing platforms like the Skill India Digital Hub and the PM Internship Scheme to get your foot in the door. But if you want to be your own boss, you should tap into the PM EGP or secure a Mudra loan to fund your startup. The resources are literally sitting right there. It's just about choosing the right path for your specific goals.
And if you do choose that entrepreneurship route, starting that business really matters to the larger picture. Micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, are absolutely vital engines for our economy. They serve as a crucial source of employment, especially in disadvantaged regions. They foster our export potential, and they drive the overall competitiveness and inclusive growth of the entire country.
Section 6. Building Sustainable Future Jobs.
The 2026 employment landscape is changing incredibly fast. As traditional roles shift, massive opportunities are opening up in emerging, future-focused sectors. We're talking artificial intelligence, data analytics, cybersecurity, renewable energy, digital marketing, and e-commerce. This is where the demand is heading. Those who take advantage of upskilling programs to align with these specific industries are going to have a massive advantage in the coming years.
But to truly succeed as a nation, we have to look beyond just the upskilling schemes. True sustainability requires us to actually bridge the gap between policy intent and ground reality. We absolutely have to dismantle the cultural barriers surrounding unpaid care work. We must reform those paternalistic labor laws that hold women back, and we desperately need to invest in supportive, gender-responsive infrastructure, like childcare. Without this holistic approach, well-intentioned schemes are just going to struggle to create lasting change.
I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder as you navigate your own professional journey, and as we all observe the rollout of these new policies in 2026. Are our policies truly creating lasting, equitable careers for everyone, or are they just generating temporary statistics? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and definitely use the resources available to build your future.